Hi. So I'm back, and I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. We just finished up with Thanksgiving, and now we're on to whatever holidays you guys celebrate. I want to talk about something I've discussed at length in private conversations, and that's the burden of wellness and positivity that people place on cancer patients and survivors. And I thought it'd be extra helpful, hopefully helpful right now, because I had a couple of my friends reach out to me and told them they watch these videos and it helps them understand, what it's like to go through cancer and, how to approach someone who has cancer or had cancer or whatever. So, one of the things I talked about, like I said, I talk about this in private a lot, but one of the things that a lot of people will tell me is like, oh, stay positive. You have to remain positive. You're going to get through this. You look great. I can't believe you have cancer, things like that. So, was reading this book called The Wounded Storyteller by Arthur Frank, and I came upon this quote that just really resonated with me, and I'm gonna really mangle the person who said its name, but it's from a Hungarian philosopher named Gorgi Lukács. Lukács. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it, but So the quote is, the danger of imagining ill people as heroes is putting this same weight on them. The phoenix as an expectation becomes a burden, not a liberation. So I was talking to actually my psychologist about this in terms of cancer recurrence, and I told her if I had a cancer recurrence that I would feel like I'm letting people down in some regard, because I've had so many people tell me that I'm such an inspiration to them because of the way I've handled having cancer. I have had a pretty positive outlook, all things considered. However, I realized that a lot of times people tell me to have a positive outlook, and yes, it does help. It does help not for you to not wallow in your, own misery and dwell on, all the bad things that are going on. But it is also easier said than done to remain positive. And when people just say things like "stay positive," you have to remain positive. A lot of times, I think that they're telling themselves that for them, as much as you, the patient, or the survivor, or whatever, because you're just when you're not, depressed, anxious, you're an easier person to be around, and an easier person to handle. And I hate to say that, but I do think it's true. And I don't think people say that like, hey, stay positive, for me, like implied, for me being implied. But I do think that is a factor, whether they realize it or not. So just know, I guess, my point is just know that try not to put that like survival on that person, because we don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna live or die in the next 5 years. I don't know that. My doctors don't know that. I have some really great medical care. Yes, I'm really fortunate that I have a great team of doctors. Really grateful that I have all this modern medicine that's helping get through things. However, that access doesn't always equal, if I'm gonna live or die. Of course, it puts me at a greater advantage of it than someone who didn't have that same kind of medical access. So I'm very privileged in that respect. But, people can do all the right things, do all the right things, and they still are not going to make it through this. Unfortunately, that's the nature of it. So, I'm saying this, I get that maybe you think I'm inspirational. But don't, please, resist putting that burden on me, or putting that burden on another person, because it's a lot, and I'm already dealing with a lot. I'm already afraid of dying, pretty much all the time. Not all the time, maybe that's some dramatic, but it does certainly in the back of my mind, on a subconscious level, yeah, pretty much on a daily basis. Believe me, I want to get through this. Believe me, I want to stay positive. But also, telling someone to stay positive denies them that very human, basic need of feeling the gamut of emotions. And that really doesn't do me any good if I'm trying to not be sad, if I'm trying to avoid being sad when I really need to feel sad. And sometimes I have like this bawling, this all out, sob fest, ugly crying, whatever. And sometimes that's what I need to release that anxiety, release those tensions, and it's very cathartic. And if I was just staying positive the whole time, I would be denying that part of myself. So yeah, it's not easy. And I don't know. I struggle with this myself because I am just kind of figuring things out as I go, and people around me are figuring it out as they go. And the longer I'm alive, the more I have to figure out how to, deal with these things. So there's no one easy solution. I wish there was. If there was, I wouldn't be making this video. This would not be as complex of a topic. So yeah, just keep in mind that. And also, I will say this: it's way better for you to say something and mess up than not say anything at all. Because I have had, when I first got diagnosed, I had friends, really not a lot of friends, but I did have some people that fell out of my life. And I knew some of my other friends in the cancer community have said the same exact thing. They had friends, the people that were really good friends that they just like went away because they just couldn't handle it. Maybe that person, had a sick father or sister or somebody, close to them died from cancer, and they have a hard time with me because, or, with whoever it is, because, they don't want to go through that again. And trust me, I understand that. But this is a time when you have a friend that's going through cancer. Just be there for them in some capacity. Don't be afraid to say something wrong or stupid or offensive, because it's better to say something and then how can correct you, or in a gentle way, versus you just like shying away and being too afraid to talk to me. So yeah, it's just hard, and just try to show up for your friends in any way you can, and that's really all we can do for each other. So yeah, all right guys, until next time, thanks y'all.